Hello and welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. My name is Alfonso Peluso and I'm a Studio Associate Professor in the College of Architecture at IIT, the home of the legendary Mies van der Rohe, and I'm adjunct faculty at Columbia College Chicago in the Interior Architecture program. Shout out to all my students. I hope you're having a great day. Today we're going to finish up a tutorial on making a lap joint. And in our last video we looked at pocketing. So what was pocketing? If I go ahead and simulate that, you'll see pocketing. So that's when you want to basically create a pocket in your stock by removing a whole bunch of material one step down at a time. So if you haven't seen that video, go ahead and search up my pocketing video. Also, I'll have a link to it at the end of this video. So that's pocketing. The other thing that we want to look at doing is drilling. So I'm going to look at simulating a drill. So let's go a little bit slower with that. Let's try that again. So you see that we can drill down into our material. So we'll look at drilling, and then finally we'll look at profiling, where we can cut away our material. So we can cut it out and we can have our two pieces that make our lap joint. And I have a little, let's make this go fast here. I have a little something in the code right now that's not working very well. We'll get to the bottom of that. Okay, so here is our lap joint. If I take one of these away, you'll see that makes one of the pieces, and then when you mirror it and rotate it down, you'll have this other piece that goes on top of it. So you have the two pieces. All right. Let's go ahead and hide this geometry. I'm going to get rid of my profiling. So there's no delete, but there's a cut. And I'm going to get rid of my drill. Okay, so that leaves my pocketing. Alright, let's look at this in the top view. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and delete my drills. And we'll redraw those. Okay. Alright, so I have a layer called drill here. I'm going to make that current. And I'm going to draw a circle. Now it doesn't really matter what size the circle is, because the end mill is going to be this. When you specify the end mill size, that's the size that it's going to drill in. But we'll make this, we'll go ahead and make it real size here. So I'm just going to place it here for now. And I'm going to set the radius to 0.125. Okay. And I'm going to draw a line across here from mid to mid. And I'm going to divide that line by 3. And that's going to give me some points where I can place this. I need a point snap. There we go. And I can mirror that. So all I'm doing is putting nothing really too important, just making the little circles where I want the drill. So I'm going to erase some of this geometry. Get rid of these points. Okay, and I'm just going to copy those two down to the other location. Okay, so now I have my drills. Those are my drill locations. Okay, so now I can set up my machining operation. So just a quick rundown of going through the machining operations. If you're just here to look at how do you make a drill, then great, you're in the right place. So I have RhinoCam 2021. If you've downloaded it and you've installed it and the windows aren't showing up here, you can go to RhinoCam and you can choose Mill. Okay, this second window on the right, this little tool button will open that. Okay, so the machine is a 3-axis machine. That means that it has X, Y, Z axis. So we're using a 3-axis router mill, so that's fine. Our post for the particular CNC that we're using at IIT, we're using a Shop Saber is the brand. Shop Saber. Win CNC ATC. Win CNC is the software that we're using. ATC stands for Automatic Tool Changer. Okay, so now I'm going to set up my stock, which has already been set up, but I'm going to double click on that and set up my stock. So I'm using the corner coordinates as 0, 0, 0. That's the top of stock is 0, 0, 0, not the bottom of stock. So top of stock 0, 0, 0. Dimensions 12 by 12 and the height is 0.5. Okay. So I just want to mention top of stock is 0, 0, 0. I said that like 3 times, okay? So that's really important. Top of stock is 0, 0, 0. And then when you go over to your CNC machine, you'll set up your Z height to be top of your wood stock. Okay. All right. Let's go down to setup and let's go to machining operations and let's go to 2-axis. And now it's been a while since I've done drilling, so is drilling considered a 3-axis? Let's find out. Let's go to 3-axis advanced. Maybe I just missed it on the first one. Sometimes it's by itself too. Holes. Here it is. Holes and then drill. Okay. So if you're struggling to find that like I was, you're going to find it under holes and then you'll find drill. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to select our drill points / circles. So that's those 4 circles that we made. So they could have been points too. The tool is our flat mill. So if this flat mill was not here, let's just go through the steps. Let's go to edit, create, select tool. Let's choose our flat mill. Okay, and just checking that the diameter of the flat mill is 0.25. That looks correct. Okay, feeds and speeds. So the speed of our spindle is going to be 16,000. And we're milling into 1/2-inch plywood, so that's why we're setting that speed. That's the recommended speed for that. The plunge, approach, and engage, those are all going to be 100. And the cut, retract, and depart, those are going to be 200. Okay, our clearance plane, we can use the default, which is stock max plus Z, so 1/4 inch above our stock. Our cut parameters, okay, so here's how far do we want to drill down into it. So we're drilling down into this 0.5. Our location of our drill points is at top. Just to be sure, you can choose pick and you can choose 0, so it's always going to drill from the very top of it. Alright. Sorting, I'm going to choose directional sort, and I'm going to choose lower left. Let's grayed out. So sorry, minimum distance sort, lower left. And I'll choose generate. And I'm going to drop this under my 2.5 axis pocketing. And I'll go ahead and simulate this. Okay, so there's my holes that are drilled. Alright, so last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and profile this out so that I can cut this out. And I have a profile line here. I'm making that layer current. So my profile lines are here and here. So I'm going to go ahead and go to machining operations, 2 axis, and I'm going to choose profiling. Okay, select drive region. I'm just going to clear these all, remove all. And I'm going to choose select curve edge regions. And I'm going to pick those 2 curves. Okay, those show up in yellow. Alright, tool is going to be my flat mill. Feeds and speeds. That's carrying over from the last setting, 16,000. And then 100, 100, 100, 200, 200, 200. That's perfect. Clearance plane, stock max Z plus distance is fine. Cut parameters, okay? I'm going to use a conventional upcut just to get a cleaner cut. I'm going to use outside inside for closed curves, and I'm going to choose the outside so it runs that end mill right along the outside of this curve. So I get it to be exactly what's shown there in yellow. Okay, cut levels. So my total cut depth is going to be 0.5 because that's the thickness of my stock. Now I can only cut down 1/2 of the diameter of my end mill. So I can only cut down 1/2 of 1/4 inch, which is 1/8 of an inch, so 0.125. And then my finish cut depth also needs to be 0.125. That's an important one. So it's stepping down and it's doing the rough cut, and then it's going to step down 0.125 on the finished cuts until it reaches 1/2 inch. Alright. So neither of these can be greater than 1/2 of the diameter of the end mill. Alright, entry exit. These I have to click on none. Set those to none. Advanced cut parameters, I'm going to leave that. And I'm going to turn on my bridge. So I'm going to make my bridge rectangular. I'll make the bridge height 0.5. I'll leave the default of 0.2 for the length. Cornering parameters, I'll leave that default. Sorting, I can do minimum distance sort, lower left, and I can generate this. Alright, so let's go ahead and simulate the whole deal. Okay, so profiling is on the top. I don't want profiling on the top. I have my bridges in, so I'd be safe, but let's stop that. Let's drag this down. So pocketing's first, drill, and then profiling. So let's go ahead and generate that. Or simulate that, rather. Alright, so there's my pocketing. It skipped right over the drilling because it was so fast. Okay, let's do that again. Simulate. There's my pocketing. Okay, my drilling is going to come up here in a second. There goes my drilling. And then my profiling. Alright, let's take a closer look. Alright, that looks really good. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and subscribe to my channel on YouTube. I've just reached 9,000 subscribers, so I'm pretty excited about that. So go and search me up. My first name Alfonso, my last name Peluso. Go ahead and subscribe. Click on all the little bells. Click on the little bell for all the notifications. And also connect with me on Instagram at my first name Alfonso, my underscore, my last name Peluso. Growing my YouTube channel slowly but surely here. Here was our first day at IIT, so you can see that. I did some CNCing that day, so if I click on that, I should be able to go through and see the students in my class on their first introduction to the CNC machine. And then we did some engraving, and I'll put a link at the end of this video to engraving, and then we did some profiling to cut it out. Alright, I'll put some links in the upper right here, and I will see you on the next one.